I'm Charlie from Gurriers, and you're listening to Down in Albion.
And I'm delighted to be joined by Gurriers. Good evening.
How are you?
Very well. Welcome to New York.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's cool. It's nice to be here. It's a cool city.
Would you care to introduce yourselves?
I'm Charlie. I play bass.
I am Pierce and I play drums.
Charlie Pierce, it's a pleasure to have you in New York. And your first US tour, I believe.
Yeah, first North American tour. We were at South by last year, but this is our first time actually doing like coastal tours in America, and we're hitting Toronto as well.
Yeah. And how's it been so far?
Great.
Yeah, it's been amazing. We flew out like 2 weeks ago. Flew to LA, spent a couple of days there fighting jet lag and looking at weird Scientology buildings and stuff, which was kind of funny. But the gig's been great. Whole West Coast was amazing, like, and then flew from Seattle to Washington DC on Thursday of last week. Yeah, it all kind of blurs into one, and then did DC and Philly over the weekend.
So you're on the East Coast home straight. What's the weirdest, strangest thing you've seen in the US?
Honestly, it's just the cab drivers, man. There's some crazy people driving Uber.
Cab drivers.
Drivers.
There was there's a lot of kind of like dystopian type stuff, and I found in LA. There was like a Tesla like drive-in movie theater like charging thing that was also like a diner, but it was like super futuristic looking. It was like something out of the Jetsons or something like that. It was really weird, like these big screens showing Back to the Future and people eating the Elon burger and all this. So yeah, it was kind of weird.
Just terrible.
Yeah, just really bad stuff. Yeah.
That's see. I think just LA feels like the end of capitalism as well. Everything's so spread out. There's just delivery robots everywhere. So many like homeless people and addicts who are stuck out on the street. It's just like a weird city. It's cool, but it's weird.
Well, thankfully you're in New York now.
Yeah, great to be here.
Gurry is playing here at Elsewhere, one of our finest venues. So tell me about Gurriers. How did you meet? How did you form as a band?
So I would have joined the band like
Just over
2 years ago, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys have been going for 6?
Yeah. So we would have met. So I was in school with Mark for like I've known him like nearly 25 years now. Like and when we finished school and moved to Dublin, he worked with Dan, and so I kind of knew Dan from like nights out, and he was made one of my mates. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think one of Dan's mates was in college with Ben. So so we were all kind of like friends of friends or whatever. And then late 2019, Mark was chatting to me about starting a band. Started practicing like early 2020. Then kind of like COVID hit, weird, kind of period for everyone. So we started gigging like late 2021, and then Charlie had kind of filled in for us a couple of gigs in
summer 2023?
Yeah, summer 2023. Did a couple of festivals around Europe and stuff, and then officially joined the band full time as of like the first week of January 2024. So just after we had recorded the first album, but before we had released it. So like as everything was just really ramping up.
I remember it was like I was in the band 2 or 3 months. We went to South by for the first time and ended up pulling out of the festival, which was
This was 2024.
Yeah, as part of the protest. Something I really wasn't expecting or ready for.
Well, you were one of many. You're in good company.
Yeah, for sure. It's just first time in a band that was like touring internationally, and you're pulling out of a festival, and it starts to become about politics and stuff. Not that that's a bad thing necessarily, but just that scale of a situation was something I had never experienced before. It's funny in hindsight.
Yeah.
Character building, you could say. Yeah.
Part of life's rich tapestry.
Yeah. But yeah, like, so we've released the first album in September of 2024. Been touring pretty extensively since then. I think like the start of this year, like before we played our first gig on this tour in San Diego, just under 2 weeks ago, we'd only done one gig all year, and we finished up quite close to Christmas. So we pretty much had 2 months of no gigs, like for the first time, probably since you were in the band, for the first time I can ever remember. Like,
Yeah.
I think the longest gap we've had in recent years, like
Maybe
3.5 weeks maybe.
Maybe 6 weeks, but then there's always rehearsals. There's never
Yeah.
a consistent break,
So this is kind of us getting back into the swing of things as well for this year. Like having had a nice kind of extended break, and yeah, just like really excited to be out here for the first time. I think because of what happened with South by the first time, we're probably a little bit behind where we'd want to be here, and that it probably knocked us back by 12 months if you were to think of everything, you know, the roadmap of everything. Like, but it's great to be out here now finally, and I think we'll be coming back out here quite regularly, hopefully over the next, you know, 12, 18, 24 months, you know, and try and catch up over here to what we've built back at home and across Europe and stuff.
And you've built a huge following, particularly live following back in the UK, Ireland, and in Europe. But all of that coming from Dublin, you formed 7 years ago. How important was Dublin to you then, and what does it mean to you now as a music scene?
It's just like such a great place to like cut your teeth musically, I think. Like especially the scene that was going on. Like when I moved up, it was 2017. You would have moved in 2015. Maybe?
Yeah, 2015. I moved to Dublin.
Yeah, even like back then, you know, it was like it's just really cool to be part of a scene where you had the likes like Fontaines and the Murder Capital starting to come up. A couple of bands, you know, as predecessors to them, but they were the first ones who kind of started breaking from that kind of like post-punk revival scene. And especially off the back of bands like Gilliband as well, you had way more experimental music that was also happening, but like it was all fusing in this one really like condensed space because it's such a small city and everyone knows each other. It's like you just have kind of like endless bands, and what's really cool is like when that all kicked off in the first place, it felt like it had hit an apex or something, but it's just continued on. Like there's still so many other new bands like Bleach and stuff coming out that are all like equally as vibrant and kind of talented, and they're all just part of one big scene.
I think one of the biggest aspects of it is, and even still now, and maybe we think of it in a different way now, but just how tangible it all feels. You know, when you're in a scene like that where you see other bands and other artists like achieving amazing things and like playing to crazy crowds and, you know, having like really big hits with songs and with records and stuff like that. And then, as Charlie said, everyone kind of knows everyone, and you're never too far removed from people. Like, so, like, to see other artists do that, you know, it reinforces the idea that this is,
it can happen.
Yeah, this can happen, and this is you know, a real possibility for us here. Do you know what I mean? So there's a real kind of strong like belief system there that kind of is self-sustaining because everyone backs each other, but also you see the success that other people have, so you think why not us, do you know? Yeah.
So not competing, but looking out for each
100%,
other and
like
pulling each other up.
It's funny because sometimes when we talk to people that are a little bit older than us that were, you know, in bands in Ireland, say during the 2000s and the early 2010s, they don't ever give the sense that there was the same kind of camaraderie and that there is now. Look at everyone is ambitious and wants to be successful and stuff, but I don't think that's to the detriment of anyone standing beside you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone wants everyone to be successful equally, I feel. I genuinely mean that.
Yeah, I think because as well, like there's such a view on Dublin and the music scene it has at the moment, and Ireland more broadly too, but specifically with Dublin, it's like everyone living there in that scene is aware of that and is kind of like, we're really lucky to be in this space when it's actually happening. You know, it's like it's going to be a piece of music history that people are going to be writing about in 20-30 years, you know, and it's like to be around for that. I think people are aware of it and grateful for it, and it means there is again that sense of like camaraderie about the whole thing.
Like so many of the great scenes, you don't realise it's a scene until further down the road you look back.
It becomes a nostalgic thing. Oh, remember how great that was such a thing, whereas at the time you would have never been able to put your finger on it, like, do you know what I mean? Whereas I think there's a real sense of understanding how ridiculous it is that, you know, Ireland, you know, Dublin and Ireland in general, I think keeps like pumping out just such amazing artists, like, and even beyond music and stuff. But that's getting into, you know,
broader pop.
The
green wave.
But yeah.
And maybe for an audience here in New York that are less familiar with the Gurriers, how would you describe your sound?
Like, suppose that's always a difficult thing to try and articulate to put yourself.
You don't have to describe it at all. They can just hear it for themselves.
Yeah, but it's like, it's punky, it's shoegaze-y, it's loud, but I do think there's like really accessible points to it that open it out to people that might not necessarily be into, you know, strange, abrasive, heavy music. Like, do you know what I mean?
We'll go with alt rock.
Yeah,
Go with alt rock. Let's go with alt rock.
I think there is something in there. Like we have such a, you know, broad spectrum of influences, like that when we're writing the whole process, like you'd be surprised the kind of areas that you're pulling inspiration from at times and trying to talk about it and say, I've been listening to this, let's try something like this, you know. So I think there is something in there for everyone, and yeah, it's just one of those things. It's difficult to kind of say what we do. Like,
yeah, like in the broad strokes, I do think it is like in that alt rock world now, where it's like it's kind of dips its toes into shoegaze, punk, like noise rock. There's all these different subgenres of guitar music that like we all love and want to draw from, but like it's that thing of like, I don't know, it doesn't fit neatly under one umbrella. And to me anyways, I love being in a band where you can have so many different types of songs rather than sticking to one thing and kind of writing the same song in various ways. And that has its merits for sure, but I'm glad that's not what we're doing right now, you know.
And how have you found the audiences over here in the States compared to Ireland, UK and Europe?
Great.
Yeah, amazing. I think, going back to the point I was saying that we're probably a little bit late coming out here, like you meet a lot of people that are like, oh, I've been a fan of the band for, you know, 3-4 years, you know, following us online and stuff like that, and people seem really like super appreciative to finally get to see us, like, because I do think we've built a good reputation for ourselves as a good live band from the shows we've done, you know, back at home and across Europe and stuff. So to finally be out here, I've had lots of like really like nice, like heartwarming interactions with people that are just so, you know, appreciative and happy to finally see us live. And like in terms of energy and stuff like that, some of the gigs have been unbelievable. Like, you know, not that you expect, you kind of don't know what to expect because it's the first time touring a new country.
It's fun as well, like going to the home of a lot of the guitar music we all love, and a lot of the influence we draw from all comes from these places. It's like, you know, being at a show in DC, or rather playing a show in DC, and like seeing people who are clearly like into hardcore and have probably roots back to the scene in the 80s, you know, it's like part of that city. And having crowds like that at the gigs, it's fun, like seeing people, you know, like hardcore dancing and two-stepping around the place. Like, doesn't really happen much back home, but out here it's like every gig, which is a great change. Yeah, it's great to see the appetite for it, I guess.
And it's your New York debut, playing here at Elsewhere in the main hall. That's so you may think you're a bit behind, but you're going straight into one of the big venues. That's not the usual path.
Because we were meant to play, what's the smaller venue called in here?
And the Zone 1, which is the...
Yeah, so
that's the start, that's the sort of entry level.
So we were meant to play Zone 1 and the tickets just flew out. Like, and I think in the back of our mind we were always maybe thinking if things in New York or things in LA or in a couple of other places, if the tickets flew out quickly, you'd look at an upgrade. And I didn't think we would make such a... Like the venue like we're playing tonight's probably more than twice the size of what Zone 1 is. I could open a correction on that, like, but it's going to be unbelievable tonight. Like, it's such a cool room, it's such a cool venue. Everyone here is amazing. Like,
so for a New York music loving audience, how would you describe a Gurriers live show in 10 words or fewer?
Intense.
Yeah, energy is like. Sorry, I don't want to use up all the words. If we're limited. Yeah.
Intense, energy, atmospheric, maybe.
Moody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking more buzzwords.
I left me thesaurus in Ireland. Jesus. Yeah, it's, I don't know.
Something in the back of my head, but I can't remember now.
Like, this is a bit more than 10 words. As I said, we've built such a reputation as a, you know, good live band, and I do think that's where we're at our best. Like, is with a room in front of us, like full of people, like
engaging. I think.
That's 100%. Like, everyone becomes part of it. Like, and that's like a core thing that we try and achieve. Like, is just get everyone involved, and it doesn't mean that everyone has to be jumping around and going crazy, or whatever. Like, people enjoy gigs in different ways, like, but yeah, I think
I think like we let out when we're on stage how much we care about the music and how kind of passionate we are about the whole thing, and that I think invites crowds to join us in that, you know.
Yeah,
It's like
100%.
we take a lot of joy in playing the music and performing it, especially, and like for me anyways, and I can kind of speak for everyone else in this, it's like when we're performing with that much energy and intensity, it's like I look at it like an invitation to an audience of like, I'm doing this because I love this and I'm up here, but there's no reason why you can't do it as well, be it you're a musician or just in the crowd that night, you know. It's like it's all one room, it's all the same song playing across the room, like it's one thing.
That sounds beautiful. And you're coming to the end of your tour. How, as a band, how do you entertain yourselves on these long tours?
I actually was at home a couple of weeks ago and I found my PSP from when I was a kid, and it was broke and I got it fixed. So, and I like jailbroke it, so I downloaded like a load of games illegally and stuff. So I've been playing. Yeah, yeah. So I've been playing like FIFA 08. Yeah, it's been pretty good.
On this tour, I've just been listening to albums, just like classic albums, because like, you know, first time for me anyways traveling around America or the United States, the United States I should say. It's funny going through all these albums that I love from different parts of the country and actually getting to see those places and listen to this music at the same time and kind of soak in the culture of what birthed it, you know.
If you had to pick one classic New York album, what would that be?
It's really hard to pick one because there's obviously so many different genres and so much different music, and I've listened to lots of it while here. It's like a lot of boom bap, a lot of jazz, but one of my favorite bands I've been enjoying recently is Death from Above 1979. Just kind of going through that kind of like indie sleaze, kind of dance punk sort of stuff. So I'm gonna say their album. Yeah.
I'd say I don't know which LCD album.
They're all good.
They're all
Many of
amazing.
them really.
I think anything James Murphy does is incredible. Like, what is his sound of? What's the sound of
Sounds of
Silver?
Silver?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's unbelievable. Like, yeah.
It's hard to beat. And tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. You're on your way to Boston. How will you be celebrating?
Church.
Yeah, mass first thing in the morning, followed by confession.
And then chasing snakes out of the city.
Yeah.
Gonna hit the zoo.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I know a few people, you know, from back at home that have emigrated and are living in Boston, so it'd be nice to kind of catch up with them. Like,
Nice.
I think it's been funny. When we were in Philadelphia on Saturday, it was kind of like all the college-aged kids out celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and everyone, you know, wearing green t-shirts.
Chaos.
Yeah, it was kind of mental. I did Paddy's Day in Chicago a couple of years ago, and once, and it was good. I wouldn't say I'll never do it again, but not for a while.
Yeah.
But it's funny to be here like this weekend because I don't think it was intentional.
No. Just lined up this
And
way,
like so many people I know, you know, out in New York for the weekend, it's like a big thing. People come out for the parade and stuff like that. Like, I think we got invited to a few things on tomorrow morning in New York, but with making load in and stuff in Boston, we're gonna have to miss out.
I'm kind of fine with it.
We got invited by Kerrygold to like a crisp sandwich making event.
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued now.
Yeah, you made your bed. But I think tomorrow will be great. Like, I've never been to Boston before. There's obviously such a, you know, a culture there, like an Irish connection. So I think it'll be really fun.
Well, between New York and Boston, you're going to see a lot of green in the next 48 hours.
Yeah.
And finally, back to Dublin. What would be your ideal night out in Dublin?
Ooh. We're going to have two very different answers here. Yeah.
I'd probably start out in Shaw on Camden Street. It's a great pub. Kind of hang out there for a bit. I love that pub because I always just bump into mates. Like, it's kind of a local for me and my friends and stuff. So I'd kind of start there, maybe have a drink or two there. Probably go to a gig somewhere like Whelan's and then just hang out in that green room, the smoking area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's ideal, but that's like a realistic night out maybe in Dublin. But yeah,
I think my ideal night out in Dublin is a couple of pints in the Hut in Phibsborough, go to a Bows match, Bows win, and then go back to the hut.
So it never happens.
Well, no, top of the league at the minute, doing all right. Or feeling that if there's no football on, like sitting upstairs in the Lord Edward and kind of just holding court. I think that'd be an ideal Saturday evening for me.
And are there any bands, artists from Dublin, from around Ireland that we should be looking out for here in New York?
I feel like I should have a scroll for this.
Yeah.
So I can actually start
It's a long
listening.
list.
There's a lot of ads, and they're all great.
I think Bleach 9-3, really, really cool guitar band. Really having a bit of a moment and momentum with them there at the minute. And I think Shugaboo and Lil Skag just released like a joint EP called Skagaboo. I think that's what it's called. Which is really cool.
Courtesy as well.
Yeah, I think Nell Mescal is doing some amazing stuff at the minute. I think she's great. She was out on tour with Sigrid all across Europe there recently. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other Irish bands that are actually going to be passing through New York at some point. Obviously Sprints, friends of ours. I'm sure anyone listening to this.
Sprints and Cardinals coming up. So
that Cardinals record. Sorry, that Cardinals record is unbelievable. Like that is like timeless. Genuinely think that will be looked back upon as one of the great Irish like debut albums. Like debut albums full stop. Never mind just Irish. I think it's phenomenal. Yeah, I can't give them enough credit for it. It's amazing.
I'd say like CMAT as well, even though she's kind of an obvious one. People know her already, but if it's your first time hearing of her, check her out because her stuff's amazing. Irish bands.
There's so many. Like
again, the scroll. I need to get a scroll.
Yeah, it's what you say about the Dublin scene and further afield as well. There's so much bubbling up.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.